sort of idea to do this for years. I get to meet so many amazing people and so many cool people, and I am sort of a little bit of a creep to people that are like 152,000% themselves. So whenever I meet someone that is just like 100% Lou, the good, the bad, the ugly, the pretty, the messy, all of it, I just want to know everything about them. I want to be around them. I'm just so inspired by people that live out loud, that live an inspired life. And you can probably tell a little bit about Lou. Life is an occasion for Lou, and so she dresses for it. And so this is the third and final one in our installment here at the Hoxton, and Donovan in the yellow hat has been amazing and giving us this cool space for us to just get together and hang out on a rooftop and hear stories. So the series is called Fuck It, Stories of Reckless Optimism, and that is a term that my mother coined when I was very young. She said if she put me in a helmet, I would do anything. And so it's sort of been something that's stuck with me, that I'm really drawn to people that, like I said, go all out. And when I had kids, I got really paranoid that I couldn't teach optimism. I was really worried about teaching optimism, and so I was researching optimism and trying to figure out. And basically, what I realized, I just had to trip them and let them fall on their face, and then get back up again, and then that would be optimism. And so it's just sort of life. Life is going to teach them how to be optimistic if I can create a good environment for them to fail in. And as Lou said, the most optimistic people usually have the most failures, and they put themselves out there the most, and they try new things and different things, and they fall on their face, and then they get back up. And we've talked in the last two series about that optimism. We've kind of decided, I think, as a group up here, that optimism is sort of resilience without resentment. It's how can you keep going without being resentful? So how can you continue to be positive? And whether that's the little things like road rage, or it's the big things like divorce or moving to a new country, or whatever that looks like. Come on in, guys. And so that's what this is about. That's what this is all about, is that I'm always seeking to be around more optimistic people, more people that say yes, more people that just say, fuck it, this is who I am. I said the good, the bad, the pretty. We see so much pretty on the Instagram. You have to follow Lou on the Instagram. You have to. It is pretty. It's pretty, and then you do something and you're like, oh, I'm not the only one that thinks that way. Because she says what all of us are thinking, which is amazing. Anyway, so this is just sort of, as Lou put it, permission to live, permission to be who you are, permission to talk about failures and talk about really great stories. Not all of them, though, because this is being recorded. So Lou let me know that she was going to filter some of it because, wait, I have to tell you, I said, Lou, you gotta write a book. Wouldn't it be good if she had like a coffee table book with all of her outfits, and you have to tell him what you said when I said you got to write a book?
No, I can't write it till my husband's dead. There's too much he doesn't need to know. He should die a peaceful, happy death.
So anyway, I met Lou like 3 or 4 years ago. She walked into Burn Cycle, and I was like, what is this? I need to know everything about you. And it was almost like, I feel like we circled each other, like being like, what's your name? What's your sign? Where were you? What is it? And if you can't tell, I'm slowly but surely just starting to look more and more like Lou. I went blonde, so I'm just getting a little bit closer. And she styled me tonight. I'm sweating in my Target dress. It's not breathable. Okay, well, thank you. Okay, I'm going to get on the stool. And no one saw my personality, so we're good. Okay, there we go. Wardrobe malfunctions left. No one wants to see that. Okay, so when I was talking to Lou, and we were like, where should we start? And the best place to start is at the beginning. Because at first glance, when you see Lou, right, you're like, this is a force. This human is a force in this world. And I, in my mind, then just picture like her doing this at 2. Right? Don't you imagine that this is exactly what she looked like, but at 2? So you just give us a brief, let's start at the beginning in a brief, where are you from? Just go and I'll interject and guide you. But okay. Yeah.
Hey lot, what an introduction, sorry. British, born in London. Mum was a probation officer. Dad was a vicar, which is a preacher for you Americans. That's the translation. One of 3, I'm the eldest, the guiding light for my siblings. Guiding light. They think it's so funny that I'm doing this. They just think it's hysterical. They love reminding me of the night my dad found me puking up, the communion wine. I mean, the stories go on and on, but yeah. So grew up moving around a lot. Vicars or preachers in Britain move consistently sort of every 3 or 4 years. So we moved all the time. And it just is what we did. But I don't know, on reflection, it was tough. It's probably given me the best bits of me and the worst bits of me, moving a lot. Gave me a bit of confidence, but also at the same time an equal dollop of insecurity. But I just got to reinvent myself constantly. We were always moving. And then I got to 18, just about scraped through the A-levels, which is finishing high school here. Sorry, I have to keep translating everything. Just about managed to finish that. And I wanted to be a social worker. I wanted to follow in my mum's footsteps and be a do-gooder. But in England in those days, you had to be 21 to go on to the social work degree course because you needed a bit of life experience, and that's what they wanted. So they suggested to go off and get some experience in the field you wanted to work in. And I wanted to work with kids. So I went off to Wales and did a year working with child sex offenders. So they'd raped their brothers and sisters. They'd been in a cult. Lots of them had been part of a big cult. And I was 18, barely older than most of them. So that was a rough first year. Did that for a year, then needed a change. And then off I went to Berlin to be a youth worker for British Forces kids that were based out in Berlin. And I was out there when the wall came down. I was standing on the wall. So if you ever go to the Brandenburg Museum in Berlin, I'm on a mural in a pair of dungarees with a hammer, hammering the shit out of the Berlin Wall. I had no idea what was going on. I was 19. I was there for the boys. I was like, I really wanted to go. They advertised the job in Cyprus, and I was like, I could get a tan. So I go for the job interview, and they go, we're going to give you Berlin. I'm like, I don't want to go to fucking Berlin. Why do I want to go there? They were like, no, it's the best posting. It's the biggest club. I was like, no, I want to go to Cyprus and get a tan. So I was devastated. Did that. Went on to then work for kind of like Club Med and did kiddie repping holidays. And then I got promoted to Club 18 to 30, which the best way to describe to you is basically Tinder holidays. And my job was to get everybody drunk, laid, and stoned. So that was my best job. I was so good at that.
Okay, but when did so obviously it's an evolution of when the Lou became the Lou. No, that's the terrible translation in the British. If I say the Lou, right, it just has to be Lou. Okay, I'm getting it. So when did Lou become Lou, though? Were you always just like, this is part of this your temperament, is where I'm going with that? Is like, when you were a kid,
I don't know. I think I get it from my dad, who was super charismatic. All the ladies loved him. My mum was dead jealous. He was, I think I get it from him. But then also being one of three and moving all the time, I tried to just find myself. I used to write to magazines and pretend I was poor, which we were actually, incidentally. We were really poor. But I used to write and go, we're really poor. Can you send me clothes from the photo shoots? And it was such a good scam. I got so much shit. They'd send me like real weird things, which I cut up and I tie around my head. And I don't know, anything to be different, especially when you're in England. Being a vicar's daughter you're quite posh. We were posh. We were poor, but we were posh, so it was really weird. And my dad came to school to do assemblies, and it was mortifying. And I wasn't allowed to go anywhere except the choir practice, the church youth club, and the roller disco. They were the only three places I was allowed to go, and I was escorted backwards and forwards. So, I was going to rebel. Jesus. Good Lord.
Wait, what's your sign?
Sagittarius.
Okay, just so everyone's clear on that, because you're all thinking it. You're all wondering, obviously. Okay. So do you think part of that is... All right, so yeah, you put a bird in a cage and it wants to get out. But growing up too, moving around, I mean, I think a lot of us, I'm just gonna go there right away. You and I have talked a lot about adult friendships and making adult friendships and how hard that is, and that some people feel terrible that they don't have friends that they have had since second grade, and then some people are just too scared to make adult friendships. And so this was a skill you honed very early then, because she's so good at. She is. I'll say this really quick about her that. My parents have said there's two kinds of people in the world. There's castle builders and there's kingdom builders. So castle builders are the people that just build their castle, right? That's my castle. And then there are kingdom builders, and kingdom builders build something special and invite everybody in. And that is what Lou does. She's a kingdom builder with women and bringing people together. And she's just like that. She gets everybody to relate to her, and it's just amazing. So anyway, starting over and over again. Because I need this visual. When you moved every time too, was it like goth Lou? and then like hippie Lou, and then 80s Lou, and then 90s Lou? Just give us a quick visual timeline of that.
There was definitely the roller disco Lou. And then I moved on to sleeping with all the boys Lou. And then I moved on to sleeping with more boys Lou with different coloured hair. And then there's been Mum Lou. And then there's been Lap Dancer Lou. That lasted 2 weeks. I got fired. And who gets fired from being a lap dancer? How bad can you be?
Somebody quick, update her LinkedIn right now. I feel like that would be so intriguing that people would call you in and be like, I just want to know.
What happened with that? What didn't work out? I don't know. In some ways, I married a man who, I married an amazing, really dedicated designer husband. And from a really young age, he knew what he wanted to do. Like he hand drew letters next to his dad, who was an architect, who was still hand drawn back in the day because we're old. And he just grew up with his craft and knowing what he wanted to do. I never knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a social worker. I ended up repping in Portugal, stripping, being in childcare. I spent many years in social services, which I think was one of the best moves. I did end up going back to social services many years after. I never ended up doing my degree, but I ended up going back and working in a family support centre, working with families in crisis where kids were about to be removed and put into care. And I got to go in their houses and work with the parents, teaching parenting skills and teaching them how to be better at being a parent, because let's face it, it's really fucking hard.
It's the hardest.
And keeping families at home. And I was fortunate enough that my husband got a good job and earns a lot of money, and he'd go make big adverts for big shiny companies, and I'm at home clearing up dog shit because a mum let her dog shit all over the house while she's got a toddler crawling around, and like teaching her that wasn't okay. And it was an eye-opener, because you think everybody involved in social services is, is troubled and, has bad intent. Most, I would say 99% of the families I felt privileged to have worked with, it's neglect. And you're going, well, that's not good enough. They're like, well, that's how it was for me. And I'm like, well, that wasn't good enough either. So then you go on the journey with this family while they learn how to fix it. And it's such a privilege. And people are like, how can you do that? And I'm like, but it's like, that's a better day at work than making a Coca-Cola ad in my book. But Coca-Cola ad pays the mortgage, and I did that bit, so it's a good partnership.
Okay, so we're like 6 minutes in, and I feel like I have 92,000 questions. But so just literally from what you said, your mom did the first like 4 jobs that you had, and as someone that I can't watch the news sometimes. I can't. I like take everything that is wrong in this world directly into my heart, and that just levels me. I'm so curious. What do you think? So you're doing this, and you're able to go home, and you're able to be Lou.
Because you go home and you go, well, I helped them today. She cleared up without me telling her she had to. She changed the sheets. She got her kid to school on time. I'm like, that was a good day. And then I go home and go look at my kid and go, how fucking lucky am I? So it's a good day at work.
So the practice of gratitude. This is where we're at with this.
It's where it's at.
Not the Instagram kind that's like #gratitude, real gratitude. Mm-hmm. Where do you think that came from, though? Because some people just really don't know. They just don't know. They'll look at their life, right? And they're like, these people live these fucking amazing lives. And then you talk to them and you're like, how you doing? And they're like, well. And you're like, oh, okay, not what I wanted to hear, buzzkill. And so these people really don't know how to, but were you taught that? Is it a skill?
I guess so. Part of that was my parents' faith. And it continues to be my faith. I mean, I do not have all the answers. I'm not in church every Sunday, but it's certainly something that I try to live my life by. It's a little code book of, I don't know. We sat down together as a family and ate dinner every night and talked about what was the best thing that we did all day. It was just a really simple little thing. So I do this with Oscar. We do highs and lows of the day. We talk. That's all we've got, especially as parents with kids, and especially with parents of teenagers. It's all you have left. You can't make them stay at home. You can't lock them up. All you can do is keep talking to them. So it's all about talking and relationships and the good and the bad and the ugly.
I mean, again, this is coming from this whole thing came from my obsession to want to teach my kids optimism. And you think that it's going to be a book, or it's going to be what are those new journals that everybody does? They like have bullet journals. I don't fucking know. Like some new life hack that everybody's doing. And then it's the simplest things that we take for granted. And
So I
I'm like
think-
making these mental notes of this stuff. I'm glad you guys are all here for my personal coaching session with Lou.
I feel like
Glad there's good booze.
good always comes out of bad. Always. Even if you never quite put two and two together and figure it out in the long term, things always happen for a reason, even the shitty things. Takes you on to the next step and makes you who you are, which makes you handle the next bit. It's just taking a breath and recognizing that as it goes along and look back at 3 years later and going, oh, okay. I don't know. I wish I could be more eloquent about it.
You are. It's okay. We're all just staring at you in awe. It's fine. You're glowing right now. It's also the direct sunlight, but it's okay. So you were a social worker. You chose to go into that field, and then you told me this great story about wearing were you wearing like Gucci shoes, but you were a social worker.
So I was working with these families in care, earning like, I don't know, 50 quid a month. Wasn't a lot. But I've always been a shopaholic. That's my Achilles heel. That's my problem. That's what I spend my money on. That's what will probably break my marriage eventually, is I just spend money. Even when I was little, I'd steal money from the collection. I would never let me be left in charge of the collection for someone who's leaving the office, because I literally spend it and then end up, I pay it back, but I can't help it. If there's cash in my hand, I'll spend it. If there's credit, I'll get it. I was 17 and I'm so old that there was no credit checks. So they just gave me a catalogue and let me start ordering shit. Well, I just started ordering shit. And I looked fine. This isn't like at 16, this is a high school still. And one night I was supposed to go, I told my parents I was going to the theatre with Katie Anderson. Only I wasn't. I was going to the Dome in Birmingham, which is a big old nightclub, to meet Brian, my boyfriend. So fucking Katie Anderson rang my parents for something and completely threw me under the bus. So the next thing I know, I'm dancing away with Brian in the Dome, and the music goes off and the DJ says, "Can Louisa Hillibrand please come to reception? Your parents are waiting for you." I'm like, what? Oh my God. So I go down to reception. My parents waiting there, face like thunder. The drive home, silence. Nothing worse. Nothing worse. And I've subsequently tried this on Oscar, my kid, and it's the best thing. Can't speak. The silence is deadly.
I'm not mad.
When I caught him
just
smoking weed,
disappointed.
yeah. When I caught him smoking weed, I was like, I'm just disappointed. The best line ever. Every
I'm getting
mom,
so many
work on it.
parenting tips, you guys. This is so great.
Anyway, I get home, and they'd gone through my drawers trying to find out where I was, and found all these stacks and stacks of court orders and bills from the catalogue. I sat down I went to bed in silence, woke up the next morning, the bills were piled up, there was a notebook, and they wrote out every debt I owed, they paid it all off, and they sent me to work in a factory, stapling ceramic hobs on cookers. On hobs, what do you guys call them?
I have no idea.
Sorry, do you need a translator?
I don't. Anyone?
You know, like a hot ring. Yeah, but on the stovetop.
like hot mitts. What
like
are those
the orange
called?
bits, the things that go orange.
Like the coils?
Yeah.
Like a coil.
It was an awful factory and I hated it.
Okay, good. Yeah, wait, details.
But I never learnt my lesson. I just continued to carry on spending and overspending, and then I met a guy, and then we'd get calls from every Saturday morning I would hang out of the window waiting for the postman to come to try and get the bank statement, so he didn't see I'd spent the money, and it wasn't an awesome way to live, to be fair. Anyway, what was the question in the beginning? My spending. Anyway, so it went on and on. I got better and worse and better and worse, and I go through good patches and bad patches. And then we got to a point where I woke up one night. I'd spent 250 quid on a pair of shoes, which is just ludicrous. I mean, it's ludicrous. Still to this day, it makes me a bit weird. What am I going to do? Where am I going in them? To clean someone's house for social services? So, woke up in the middle of the night in an absolute full-on panic attack sweat. And I was like, right, that's it. Sat up in bed the next morning. It was a random day in the middle of nowhere, and I'm not buying anything for a whole year. That's it. Not shopping, not buying anything else. And Guy's like, all right, whatever. And I went, no, definitely not. So I started a blog the next day and journaled the whole thing. And it was like going through proper full-blown cold turkey of, wanting to go shopping. And it was awful. I was like, what are people going to talk to me about? Because people always talk to me about my outfits. Like, what will they say if I haven't got anything new? Like, it was really stressful. So instead, I pledged to wear only what I had already owned, and I would wear a different outfit every day for a year. And my poor son, who at that point was about 8, started taking my picture every day, and I started a blog, which was called Seaside Recessionista. And mums in the playground. I talked about the addiction and the withdrawal from the addiction a lot. And like mums and dads would come up to me in the school playground and they go, my husband stole all our money. He's a gambling addict. And people just started pouring out these stories. And it was a privilege. And just by opening myself up, it kept me accountable. That was the main thing. It was more for keeping myself accountable because I'm like, well, if I say it, I've got to do it because others are going to look like a right dickhead. But actually, it opened a whole conversation with loads of people. And then I ended up on a game show for Shopaholics, and it was awful. So talk about putting yourself out there. Sorry, you're not even asking any questions. I'm just going on.
I love it. I love it.
So the concept was, it was on TLC. I mean, you can tell it was a quality program. And I was so excited. They called me. They'd seen the blog, and they wanted a Shopaholic. And I'm like, so cool. So I stroll into the studio, and the concept was like America's Next Top Model. So there's 4 judges. And there was 4 of us, and we had to run around a department store with a trolley or a rail, and they would say, right, you're going for, so example, the first round was, you've got to style yourself for a day at the races. So then we had 5 minutes to run around the store, and you had to grab clothes and accessories, and then we had to go in the change room, get changed, and then they went, right, the big reveal, and we had to come out of the changing room. Well, I get there in the morning and I'm all fancy, even though the hotel they put me in was really shit. So I was already like, this is shady and cheap. So then we get there. And also, I must say, my husband had warned me against it being a good idea. So I arrive. I'm clearly the quirky old lady with a bit of a wacky style. Everyone else is young and slim and gorgeous. And I'm like, fuck you, all of you. Like, you set me up. I had a little paddy. I had a little tantrum. And they were like, no, you're expected to win. Like, you're the favourite for the episode. So I'm like, oh, all right then. All right then, I'll take it. So it starts. I win. The first round, my outfit was ridiculous. I look ace. I trounced them all. They were young, skinny bitches were in tears. I was like, got this. I'm so winning the $50,000 shopping trip. So next round was a day on a yacht. Well, I grew up sailing and fishing in the British seaside. So all I could think about was I didn't want a tan. So I'm trying to choose outfits in this panic. So I didn't get a tan. Everyone else is like going to Ibiza on the yacht. I did actually put one really good dress on, and I just went on camera. I went, oh, I just look like my Auntie Joan on a cruise. And I changed it for this really shitty outfit and got eliminated for not being glamorous enough. I literally locked myself in the toilet, threw the microphone over the cubicle and refused to come out until they got me a taxi. I was so bummed out. And of course I told everyone I was doing it. So then I made this big deal about having a Lou gets eliminated in the second round party. I was just like, I'm dead. And from that day forth, I'm like, never getting eliminated for not being glamorous enough.
On all of your future game show opportunities, I will.
Anyway, oh my God, I just remember what the question was.
Yeah.
I bought the expensive shoes, woke up, said I was never shopping again, didn't shop for the entire year. And when I finished that, I was 41, and it was the very first time in my whole life I felt confident. I was like, ooh, weird feeling. What's happening? And it was, if I can do that, I can do motherfucking anything. And then ever since then, I was 41, which is really sad. That sucks. But that's what it is. I feel like
you had a pretty good time before 41, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
I always say if I get hit by a bus, I'm going to be wearing a good outfit. And it'd be like, well, it was a life well lived. Done, tick most boxes.
We talked about, though, that, again, just going back to what optimism is and positive people, and you meet Lou and you're just like, it's a tornado of positivity, right? It's just this amazing, or it's like a spicy margarita of positivity. I don't know where it is, but we'll find it. But it's amazing to me because every single person that we've talked to here and that I talk to in life that I'm so drawn to, they're never like, well, all these really great things happened. And then, so that's why my life is great. And I think that everything's going to be great in this world. It's these things where you, at Burn Cycle, we always say we're not there to make you skinnier. We're just there to show you that you can do hard things. And it's so fascinating to me, again, as a mother that's trying to teach optimism, and how do I, obviously I don't want to create hardship for my kids, but standing back and letting them live their life and do their thing. And then you hear this and you're like, well, how can I expedite the process, or how can I help them get more confident of doing this? But it also is really reassuring that at 38, I'm still trying to find the confidence that you have. I mean, she's wearing a leotard. Right? I mean, it's not just physical. It's amazing. You're just like...
But I don't know. I'm 48. I keep saying I'm nearly 50. I am freaking out a little bit about 50. But 40's been ace. Like, it just gets better. Like, it's just... I know there's a massive group of girlfriends at the moment. We're all late 40s, early 50s. And the times are changing for us. And it's exciting. Like, you dread it, and in some ways I'm like, oh, my kid's 16, he's off fingering girls and smoking weed. I ain't got to worry about him. He doesn't want to know where I am. My husband's been in New York the last year and a half working away, and that's been rough, but quite good at the same time. It's been, I posted, woe is me, I miss him, it's so hard, and he's always been super busy. Someone's got to pay the mortgage while I'm fannying about, but I've quite enjoyed living by myself. I've been with a boyfriend since I was 11. I've overlapped them forever. I've never really been by myself. So I know, it's easy to say I like living by myself. Obviously, he's coming back at some point. But it's been quite an eye-opener. Things are shifting around the house. I'm like, God, we always have to listen to your music. And we always eat what you want when you want it. Like, first question in the morning is, what are we having for dinner? I don't fucking know. I don't care. Like, a cracker out of the cupboard. I don't know. Men like to know what I'm having for dinner on Thursday. I don't know, but I just noticed, like, I like his music. I don't dislike his music. It's not like I've been, oh, I hate this. But I'm like, he's gone. I like house music. Oscar and I have been dancing around the house the last year and a half. It's been quite an eye-opener. I miss him, but when he comes back, God, he gets on my nerves. So he's coming home to live soon, so we're entering the re-entry. I'm calling it the re-entry. I'm bracing myself. But I'm like, things are going to change. I realize that I haven't had much of a voice, so I'm finding my voice. And I don't know if that comes with my age or... I don't know. And Oscar's gone a lot. And I'm looking at Guy going, whoa, we got another 30 years, mate. What are we going to talk about? But, I think we were all, certainly my girlfriends and I, my close girlfriends and I, were all certainly in the same sort of phase of life, looking to what's next. And we're all, I feel the best I've ever felt. I feel, I've got a confidence. I feel fit. My fucking ass is awesome. I do so many squats. And that's, I don't know. I have always lived, I'm a very open book. Some of my friends here will testify. When I am in a bad... If I've fucked off with you, you will know about it. Yeah.
But I think this is amazing, and this is why I like you so much, is because I have to, and I want to go back to reinventing yourself, though, because I think a lot of us, like, even for me right now, I'm like, well, this is it. This is it. Burn Cycle is it for me. This is how I've defined myself in my 30s, and this will be the thing. But secretly, like, in my 40s, maybe I want to own a dive bar or a winery. And then you hear stuff like this, and you see, like, the energy and the light and the just, like, thriving life that you're living. It's even though it seems very natural to you and very casual to you, it's a big deal for people to see. I want to make sure you know that.
Thank you.
I forgot what I was saying earlier too. Now
I think growing up in a house full of faith, I grew up with a group of people who were brought together with common purpose. So you don't have to have faith. It can be whatever it is, like your gang of mums at school when the kids are all the same age and you make friends with the mums. They may not necessarily be someone you would choose, but your kids mates with them in the class and you make friends with them and you put yourself out there, and they might not be your first choice, but they're fun and the kids like each other and the kids teach you that that's okay. So you your selection process changes. Like, you lose your mates that you had before you had children, then you make new mates when they're at school, and then we moved abroad. Like, I was super settled. I had a great job with social services. Guy was commuting up and down to London. Oscar was settled at school. I was on the board of the school board, which was one of the best things I ever did, you guys. It's a real boring story, but I got voted onto the school board, and I was like, Oh my God. I was like, the average age was about 65. And I was like, ugh, I don't even like any of you. But it was the best thing I ever did because I learned so much from all these people's opinions. All these people I didn't even like. I would never have them to dinner. I wouldn't go out for a drink with them. But they were fascinating. I was like, God, I never thought about it like that. And I don't agree with you at all. You're a fucking idiot. But it's fascinating to see how you think. And like, that was a really interesting couple of years that I did that. But then we were super settled. We had a great life. I'd set up Featherfest. I love camp. I grew up doing church camping. And so when Oscar started school, I started the school camp, which is one of my most proudest achievements of my life. So that was 11 years ago, I started the school camp. So it was literally like, I booked a field, said to everyone at school, let's all go. Meet Friday night. You know, everyone catered for themselves. I organised a few games. And it started the first year, I think there was maybe 25 families. When I like doing something, I just like making everyone else do it too. I'm like, come and do it with me. Come and do it with me. It'd be so much fun.
Kingdom builder. Kingdom builder.
Come do it with me. Like, share it. Come and try it. So we went camping. All my best childhood memories were the camping. So we started camping. And then that went on for a little while. And then it just grew and grew and grew. So eventually when I left, we had, I think, 120 families coming to Featherfest, which was just like a crazy weekend. And the school camp actually continues. And my sister, whose nephew's now 5, so it's like 10 years ago, she was taking her son around. She lives in the same town as me. She was taking her son around the open evenings. And they were like, and the benefits of being at this school are, we have a school camp. And everyone went, ooh. And she went, some woman 12 years ago decided to start the school camp. So now we all have to have a school camp. So we have a school camp. Does anybody want to take on the school camp? And my sister was like, that was my sister. And I'm like so proud of that. I'm so proud of that. Anyway, sorry.
No, it's amazing. And she still does Featherfest.
So then we started it this year. It was the first year this year with my team. I couldn't do it.
The squad.
The squad. Let's talk about the squad. Can we talk about the squad?
Yes, of course, because I think I'm gleaning so much from this. And again, the way that we wanted to set these conversations up were, if you're at a party and you just heard two people talking, that's what we're doing. And so there's not a lot of structure to it. It's just that I am so inspired by these people. I want to know everything about them. And then sometimes I forget that you guys are all here. So I like zero in and ask all these questions. And then, but it really is just to sort of create an environment where you guys feel like you know Lou, you know me, that we are all leaving here and friends. But but I'm still just so fascinated. I just have to say this, really, that as I'm 37 in like 3/4 or whatever. So
show off.
Yeah, I know. I'm super young. I am so young. Every day I'm like, oh my God, you're so young. I just look in the mirror and I'm like, you spring chicken, you stop. But I think I've always wanted to reinvent myself too, and I've gone through different periods of dressing the way that I did, and like I said, I've had different friend groups at each phase of my life, and I've had friends since I was a kid. But I think it's really fascinating to talk about female friendships and just adult friends in general, because I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I live in a cave. I have 116 children, and they're like 2. They're all 2. Everyone was born an hour apart. So we are technically living in a cave right now. But we both, my husband and I, come alive in around people. We just need to be around people. We love to be around people. But as we get older, we've realized the importance of being around the right people at the right time in our life. And so we outgrow friendships.
We do outgrow friendships.
We outgrow relationships. And I think there's this terrible idea that's like the worst thing, that you're gonna have this like horrific breakup with a friend, right? And then you're gonna rip off your best friend necklace and you're gonna throw it into the fire, and then there's gonna be Real Housewives of Beverly Hills feuds on social media. But it's fascinating, and we've talked about this, that you've had these amazing, you've always found your people, and wherever you were, whatever phase you were in your life. And I'm just getting to that point, and I talk to so many people at Burn Cycle and just in life that are like stuck with this one toxic person in their life, and they won't get rid of them, or they won't step away from them, and it's causing them so much strife. But they're afraid they're already being rejected and hurt and whatever, and they just won't step away from them. Anyways, I could talk for hours, but I think that Lou will talk about it a little more, but what she does, and are you the instigator of all of it? You're
I'm
kind
the
of
instigator,
you're
mainly
you're the kingdom
because
builder.
I don't want to get FOMO, right? The best way not to get not invited is just to sit back. If I invent everything, if I create the party or invite everyone, then at least I get to go and I never get not invited. So that's half of it. And I don't know, some of the best things I've done, I think one of my favorite things is Hike Squad. So when we moved here to Portland, we knew some people who already lived here, and they did us a hamper welcome thing with a Stumptown coffee cup and, you know, Portlandy things. But also in there, most importantly, was a book that was the 150 best hikes within an hour and a half of Portland.
That is such a Portland gift.
Isn't that a Portland gift?
I've given that gift 150 times. I gave that gift to you, Christy. Welcome to Portland.
Best gift ever. So I started doing them. I do like have a little wander along. I take a couple of pictures, put it on Instagram, maybe just to piss off the people in England, going, God, look at her new life in America. I think, look how outdoorsy I am. And then more and more people would say, oh, I'll come with you next time. I'll come with you next time. So then somehow at some point, Hike Squad was born with a mishmash of anybody who wanted to come, basically. And so I think we have how many people on the text message comes round and round, but, you know, I'll put out text. We're leaving Friday, 8 a.m. Meet us at the Dragonfly Coffee House, and we'll be back by 4. And whoever can come. And then we'd figure out a hike, and it just got bigger and bigger. But then there was over time, people would come and they would drop out, and then there's a hardcore group who got fitter and fitter, and we just started having bigger adventures. But it's just been the best girl gang. Like, we're a right bunch of... we all... I think the thing that we're bound together with... There they are. The thing we're bound together by is the fact that most of us are immigrants, or we're just, you know, we're here temporarily. We're varying European countries. There's Belgian, there's Dutch, there's American, there's Brits. And we're bound by this common purpose of... We don't have long together. We won't all live here. We're here for our jobs or our partner's jobs, and we won't live here forever. So this is a real moment in time, and we're all just like, fuck it, let's go. Fuck the kids, we're off. Dad, you're picking up from school, we're going, we're out there. So we leave, we go, it's everybody brings something to share for lunch, and then we all come home again. And it's like it saves on therapy. It's brilliant. But that girl gang have saved my arse on many occasions, so thank you to my girls who are here. But we have the best adventures. We've been up Mount St. Helens. We went and did the Grand Canyon, followed by Vegas this year. We've done backpacking. Everyone's out of their comfort zone. But we get the best women come, even if we don't, you know, some women only come once and it's not for them. You know, there's a lot of talk. There's a lot of vagina talk. There's a lot of peeing your pants. There's, you know, there's no holds barred. It's not for everyone. So some women have come and left traumatized. But it's like, you know, even the people I don't like, I think I learn more from them. I like people. I like people. I think I don't think I'm going to make friends. I collect people and experiences and different opinions. And yeah, I don't know. Almost the people I don't like are more interesting.
They're always more interesting.
More interesting.
Because you're like, why the fuck would you say that? Right? No.
There's always a reason why they do.
Yeah.
And then I'm fascinated.
Yeah.
with
Yes.
why
And then
they
it flips you on your head, and you're like, all right, okay, all right. I see where I don't agree, but I see where you're coming from. I'm just making all these mental notes. I'm like, just do the damn things. Get outside. Just do the damn things. Right?
Say yes
just
to everything.
have dinner with your fucking kids. I'm just making all these mental notes right now. But I just love to gather, and obviously these events that we've done here, they've sold out in just like a couple minutes or a day, and so people want to gather. So I would definitely challenge everyone here. You all get challenged when you leave, by the way. You get challenged. So we'll list your challenges at the end, but one of your challenges should be that you should do something to bring people together. There's a reason why we gather. We like it. We like humans. We're hardwired to connect.
So I think
we love it. So
put yourself out of your comfort zone. So Nikki, for example, here runs a women's group called Pom Pom Social. If you've never come across
you should
them,
all go.
you should
Everyone
all go
should
to
go.
that. And they meet, you know, monthly, bi-monthly, and there's always a topic and there's a panel, and, you know, sometimes you're like, ooh, yeah, that's me. And other times, like the vagina therapist, you're like,
Wait, was that Tammy Kent?
Yes.
She is a vagina shaman, okay?
She?
I'm sorry for the gentleman in the room, but I have to say, after 3 children, I went and saw her, and it was amazing. I'm sorry, I'm just going to say this to all the gentlemen in the room. I'm just very sorry. I have to tell this story, though.
Sorry, not
No,
sorry.
Sorry, I'm not sorry. So they're all fine. It seems like you all have children, so you'll be supportive of this. So I went and saw this woman, you guys. I'm not even kidding you. She is like a shaman. So she's a true physical therapist. So she has like, first of all, you walk in and there's like Georgia O'Keeffe paintings everywhere, and you're like, very on brand. I like this brand consistency. I'm into it. And then you go in and she's wearing like a skirt that you maybe wore to like a Dave Matthews Band show in the 90s, and you're like, I can get down with this. Again, brand consistency. I'm with it. And then you go in and she's like a real physical therapist. So she shows you the model of like your pelvic floor and all this stuff, and you're like, okay. But the whole time in your mind, you're like, but what's gonna happen? But what is about to happen? Like, what are there
She's
devices?
gonna finger you for $1,000.
Are there like, what's gonna happen? And this is, I had my kids are Irish twins. They're very, again, it was Fireball. It was very very close together, and I just needed to get going, and so I went and I saw her, and she's like, okay, lay down on the table. And my husband's here, and he's like, I cannot believe you are telling this story. I can feel his eyes right now. And I lay down on the table, and I'm like, what's gonna happen? And she literally, I'm so sorry to the gentleman. She
Fingered you for $1,000.
She enters me, and then she paused, and I was like, what is she doing? What is happening? And then I like gaze up at her and look at her, and she's like has her eyes closed, and then she looks at me with like this deadpan, and she just goes, you're using your outside energy to trick everyone that you can push through this, and now you're not going to get the help you deserve. And I was like, and then the tears like shot out of my eyes like a cartoon character. It was like and then I'm crying with a stranger's hand in my vagina, which is like our 20s. And then you're like, great, I thought I was over this part of my life. And it's like she like read my soul from the inside of me. Anyways, but you only have to go to her like once or twice, and then you don't pee your pants anymore, and you can do jumping jacks for like hours.
It's amazing.
So you should all go. But anyway, so not your cup of tea, but totally mine.
So so I didn't want to go. So I think life is like the party you don't want to go to. The party you don't want to go to, what is it? It's always the best fucking party. The one you look forward to all the time, shit. The one you don't want to go to, you're like, oh, I drag my heels. Oh, okay, fine. Oh, what was that dress on the catwalk last year? I didn't want to come. I'm late because I didn't want to come. That's what I think it was like. So I didn't want to come. My friend had a bad back. She was like, I really want to see Tammy. You know, I've read her books. She's very well read. And so we go, I'm like, fine, I'll go. We go, I'm drinking wine, I'm eating vegan pizza, and we're meditating to our vaginas. In quite possibly the most Portland evening of my entire life. And I'm sitting there with one eye open going, motherfucker, someone's videoing this. We're getting punked. I know it. And then I'm like, no, come on. What is it you say to everyone else? Say yes. Say yes to everything. Just say yes. Even if you don't want to do it, if you don't fancy it, if you don't fancy him, apart from sleeping with him, just say yes. So I'm like, right, close your eyes, be in the moment. I cannot tell you what she said to me that night, but I left home going, oh, me and my vagina are going to take over the world. And she's like, your vagina is the source of all your power. Like the good power, the bad power, your trauma, everything. And I was like, oh, whatever. I bet she doesn't wax. I was so judgmental. And I left there so powerful. I can't put my finger on it. I can't tell you what she said. She definitely didn't finger me. And the vegan pizza was remarkably good. But I get home, next morning, my son and my husband are like, what's up with you? And I'm like, I have no idea, but me and my vagina are like dead powerful, and you better watch out. I don't know what's going to happen. And my son's watching some bloody YouTube thing, and I'm like, what that bollocks you're watching? And I went, I should start a YouTube channel. And he went, oh my God, no, what you want to do that for? What you going to call it? And I'm like, I don't know, middle-aged women margaritas and the menopause. Oh my God, no one will watch that. And he left the school, and I'm like, no, I'm starting a YouTube channel. That's what's happening. I'm going to make a fucking fortune, and I'm going to get free clothes, and this is what's happening. And I reached out to a friend who coaches. I literally just spilled margarita down my gold sequin boots.
The night would not complete if you didn't do that.
I was like, no. I reached out to a friend who trains women to vlog for their business. Well, at that point, I was just doing events, and I was like, no one wants to watch a YouTube channel about events. I want free stuff. That's not what I want. She said, I've got a course starting on Monday, an online course. Do it with me for free. Just, bleat about it on the internet a bit. So I was like, fine. So she sent a workbook that you had to do. And it was all about, working on your brand and your brand identity and who you wanted to attract and what were your philosophies. And I was just like, I don't know. I just want free stuff. Like, how hard can it be? But I went through the process of the course. And halfway through the course, I don't want to blog about events. I want to blog about style and I want to share being brave. And so I started doing that, and halfway through, people always like, oh, vintage, because I've always shopped vintage, mainly because I can find stuff no one else has got, or, I like the thrill of it being a bit different, as you may have noticed, and you're all doing a very good job with your Lou and Lulan styling. And so I thought, I'm going to try and make a business out of the styling finally. And then people often say, oh, I can't vintage shop. It freaks me out. There's too much. I don't know where to look. So maybe I could train people to vintage shop. So I knew about Airbnb now do, as well as staying in a local's home, they do an experience. So if you go to a town, you can look up experiences in that local town. If you go to LA and you're a surfer, they'll take you to the secret surf spot and you get the best. Or there's a secret speakeasy restaurant out the back of the pub. And so now I emailed, during the middle of the course, I emailed Airbnb a proposal to do vintage shopping tours of Portland. And they called me the next day and I was up and running within a week, and I never ended up starting the YouTube channel. And I take people vintage shopping around Portland. And I meet the best people from Airbnb. I have these crazy guests who are fascinating and hilarious and weird and wonderful and all because of the bloody vagina therapist. So I will be eternally grateful. And it was a real pivotal moment. It's really changed.
Well, men have been told for centuries that their penis is their source of power. So
No one questions it.
This is not where I thought we were going tonight, you guys.
I know. But then, yesterday it was National Orgasm Day, ladies. If you didn't know, you don't follow me on Instagram, you may have noticed it. Who even invented that? Who knew? So I post a little thing about self-love, because who doesn't love a wank? Apparently, a lot of women in the world. So all day yesterday, I literally counted them, 60 plus messages of women letting me know that they'd had a wank yesterday. I just had half an hour to myself. I'm like, okay. All right, thanks. By about message 32, I was like, oh my God. The whole country's wanking. Yes. It was a very funny day yesterday, but I just find putting yourself out there, however it is, whether it's Instagram, sitting on the school board, working for social services, I don't know. It gives you back. Whatever you put out, you get back tenfold. Did I make that up?
That was
or
math.
That's
No, you did it. It was
No.
math.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was science.
I don't think I made that up, but it does work.
It's science. And I just like I love the idea that we said you're collecting people. I just meet people and I'm like, I need to know everything about you. Like I love this. I just keep taking little bits of this and trying to put them in my pocket, and I don't want to run out of time, but we end up so I want to make sure we talk about something really good, because you've put yourself out there and you do it like I said, tenfold. You put you're like, I'm gonna go there. I'll say this about I'm gonna wear this. I'm gonna do this. These are my thoughts and my beliefs. What about criticism? Because that's what I think stops most of us from actually putting ourselves out there, or putting ourselves out there in a way that's real. Right, and you clearly just say fuck it. From the last 20 minutes of our conversation, this is the queen of fuck it. No, it's good. It's great. That's what we want. You give people permission to live.
I don't know. It's just who I am. I can't shut up. The girls were like, should we stand at the back with a flag? And if you tell a story, you shouldn't be telling. We should wave. And I'm like, no, because that's not. But they've got my back. They're trying to protect me. But thanks, thank God. But I don't know. What the best things have happened?
You and I were talking about how you and I are similar in the sense that we're too much for a lot of people.
We're way too much for a lot of people.
Way too much.
So I think when you live with I have a big personality, and people love it or they hate it. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. That's absolutely fine. I've spent 48 years being like that. Bullied at school. Shit happens, but it's just, I don't know if it's is it my age? I don't know if it's my age that gives me a confidence, or I don't know. I feel like as a mum, for sure, I think now he's 15. I think the whole 15 years I've doubted my parenting. I've doubted myself. I was pregnant. Everyone was like, "It's all you've ever wanted." And I'm like, "No, it fucking isn't. It's awful." And then the first 2 years were awful and I hated it. And then you doubt yourself all those years. And now he's got to 15 and I can see a glimmer of hopefully the young man he's going to become. And it's the first time I've gone, whoa, all right, I've done an okay job. I mean, I'm not resting on my laurels for 1 minute. He's probably up to no good right now. He's probably smoking crack and driving drunk around Sovey Island. But, you know, he seems like he's doing all right.
He's
so
a good
I'm like,
kid.
yeah.
He's a good kid.
Yeah. But I think, you know, it is a risk putting yourself out there. You never know whether people are going to like it or hate it. Sometimes you can, but doing Instagram, I think you'll probably appreciate that. When you put something on Instagram, people's reaction's overwhelming. When Pom Pom did a social, an article on me and I talked about postnatal depression, it took me 6 weeks to reply to the messages. Like, and it was just something that as part of my life, I had 2 years of really grim years where I literally fucking hated my kid for most of it and found it really, really difficult. But people don't say that out loud. And I think that's why I was a good family support worker, because I'd say to the teenage mums I would work with, I'd go, it's really fucking shit. You know, and most people are like, well, it's got to be fabulous. This has got to have filled your heart with joy. This must be everything you've ever dreamt of. And I'm like, no, not what I thought at all. But then also I've made some other decisions on Instagram, like posting my bum, for example, which I started doing for apparently no real apparent reason. But we went snowshoeing one day and I was feeling a bit reckless. So I took all my clothes off and I got the girls to take a picture of me and I posted it. And within an hour and a half, I had a DM from a 31-year-old dude at the gym going, "Holy butt crack ahoy." And I'm like, is that even a compliment? Like, what is that?
Wait,
and anyway, he went,
ahoy?
ahoy. Holy butt crack
Like a
ahoy.
Okay,
Like
I
sailor?
needed to get clarity on
Yeah,
that. I want
right?
to picture
Weird.
that. Yeah.
Weird. So he sends me this message. I'm like, is that a compliment? And he went, well, it's not an insult. So I sent a winky gif back. He sent me a dick pic. I was like, I'm 48. I've been married for 21 years. That's my first dick pic, people. I'm like, these kids move fast these days. So I screamed and dropped the phone. Then I picked it up and zoomed in. And then I sent it to all my girlfriends.
So to the three gentlemen that are here, just know.
Sorry. No. He hadn't even made an effort with it. But I was like, I mean, it was just down the tracksuit bottoms. I feel like I would have made a lot more effort with the styling. But anyway, it was mind-blowing to me. There's like a 31-year-old hitting on the middle-aged woman. But it's been a real pivotal moment for the last few months because I entertained the text messages for like 2 or 3 days because fucking hell, I'm 48. I've been married for 21 years. I liked it. Utter dickhead. Then I walk in a bar the following weekend. I walk in the bar. He's in there with his girlfriend. True story.
How did you know it was?
Because he's at the gym. He didn't send it anonymously. And he got
I
massive
get those
arms
all the
you
time.
guys.
I don't.
Do you?
No.
See, 'cause you
No. I guess I just don't give off the vibe. I don't know what it is.
Well, apparently I'm giving off some vibe. Anyway, the poor girlfriend she came up to me at the bar and said, I hope you don't think I'm being creepy. And I went, oh God, what's she going to say? And she said, I just adore you. I follow you on Instagram. I'm obsessed with you. I want to be you when I grow up. I'm like, oh my God, your boyfriend wants to stick his dick in me, love. So that was the end of that. But like, I don't know. That's the sign. That's the red flag.
The flag is
the
going
girls
up.
are waving the flag. But the point of the story, the moral of the story is put yourself out there because you never know what's going to happen.
Okay,
and it
let-
could have
let
been
me-
a better dick than it was.
And you too could open up your Instagram to the picture that you've always wanted.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily recommend just go around putting your bum on the Instagram. My dad's not that keen.
Well, let me ask you this, and I
on
guess
that.
because you seem bulletproof. Lou obviously knows who Lou is. Lou loves who Lou is. Lou has people that love who Lou is. So you seem bulletproof. So does criticism affect you though?
Oh, yes. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted I did a ridiculous photo shoot in the tulip fields, and I have this amazing pink gown, and I was like, I'm going to take all my clothes off and just pose naked in the pink gown. I was genuinely worried about the tulip police and that someone would say I was trampling the tulips, so I was braced for some criticism. But there's just one stupid, well, I don't know, I shouldn't call her stupid, a Christian woman who was really offended by my cavorting naked in the tulips. And I shouldn't call her stupid because that's her opinion. That's how she feels. She was offended by it and found it offensive. Unfortunately, she decided to write that on my post, which was unfortunate for her because then several of my followers unfortunately shared their opinion with her. But it was her. I didn't even know her. And like, I don't know. But
You get way more positive stuff.
I get way more
How much
positive.
negative you get really in comparison to all that positive stuff,
True.
right?
True. It's like knowing about 60 people having a wank yesterday. That makes my day. Yeah, there you go.
This
all my
group,
tulip.
this group. I think I want to say it because the reason why I wanted to have you up here is obviously all of us are here, and my whole team. This morning when we came into the office, we had all thought about what we were going to wear today and what we were coming in because we wanted to. We just like took a little bit of you. We took it was like a little hit of Lou to put ourselves out there a little bit more, and we all were talking about how much more enjoyable it was to feel a little bit bolder and to feel a little bit bigger. But I think again, there's even myself I'm on a stage all the time. I sit up and have microphones all the time. Criticism crushes my soul. I mean, crushes.
Well, when I went for an
my
audition
soul.
to be a burn cycle instructor,
Guys, she
that
did.
was the
She
worst.
auditioned to be.
I auditioned to be a burn cycle instructor. I was like, I've got this nailed. I am going to be brilliant at this. How hard could it be? I spent hours sitting at the kitchen table practicing cycling forward, back, and forward, back, and forward, back. And I picked It's Raining Men because it was a stormy day. And I was like, I'm so on target. And she's like, I'm so excited you're auditioning. And I'm like, I've nailed this. I went on Instagram, went, off I go for my burn cycle instructor's audition. Like, I'm so got this in the bag. Oh, Jesus. It is not that easy. So I get on the stage, Leanne's like, would you like to move the seat on the bike? And I don't know why, I just went all British and went, no, it's fine. Oh, no, it's absolutely fine. I don't need any help. I've got this. It was way too high. I got a headband on because I was trying to be cool, and they put the microphone on me, and then she's staring at me at the back, and I'm like banging my vagina up and down on the seat. I'm panting really. I'm like, I'm back. I'm pressed. And I'm falling off the seat, and it's way too high, and I did myself permanent damage, and then didn't get the fucking job. I couldn't burn cycle for about 6 months. I was so embarrassed. But it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't my path. I was mortified, like getting eliminated for not being glamorous enough, but it just wasn't my path. It's fine. It did take me a little while to recover from that. I'm still slightly embarrassed. And people go, you'd be so good. And I'm like, you think, but it's actually real hard. Real hard. And the microphone was slipping off. Oh my God, it was a shit show. Walked out of there and went, nailed that.
It was fantastic. I was like, this is fantastic. Everything that's happening right now is amazing. It's amazing. So I want to make sure that we have time for questions for people that would ask, that just want to ask questions, that just want to know about you, that just want to. And again, this is like Lou has said it. There is nothing that is off the books for her. There's nothing that's, it's really just about bringing people into other people's orbits that inspire people. And I know, again, I got a lot of takeaways from this that we'll wrap up at the end. We'll give you guys a challenge, but we want to make sure if people have questions, random questions, good questions, bad questions. So again, the thing Lou and I really relate on a lot is I love that she always says the good and the bad and the messy and the ugly. And again, people are just pretending that everything's really great, right? Everybody's like, oh, everything is so perfect. And I'm Lou and
really
everyone
not.
loves me and nothing would ever hurt my feelings. Or I've only slept
I am
with my
a human
husband.
being.
Yeah. But people, but digitally, the thing that we all live through, right? The screen is not human. So a lot of times I mean, I think a lot of humanity is being dehumanized by our screens.
I try as hard as I can to be authentic with the good and the bad and the ugly.
Which is amazing, and that's why I wanted you up here, because you give everybody else the I mean, if you guys were at our Pride one, we were joking about how many Brene Brown books. It's too many Brene Brown books. Never. And she talks a lot about shame, and we were talking about this, and something that she says, though, is there's all these things that you've done in your life or had happen to you in your life, or times you put yourself out there and you failed, or when your head hits the pillow and you're like, why the fuck did I say that? Why did I say that? And it's like 1997 and nobody remembers but you just criticize yourself so much over that stuff, and you're ashamed of it, or you're embarrassed by it, or whatever it is, and it's so insignificant, but we hold on to it, and it's like the water glass analogy. The water doesn't change in weight, but the longer you hold it, the heavier it gets. It's like those things. You just hold on to these little nuggets that grow and fester into your story or your narrative or whatever it is, and then all of a sudden you're this person that's consumed with things that you're ashamed of, and you're just being fucking human. And so a lot of what she says is share your shame, and that's what I love about Lou, because no matter what happens that day, she's like, here it is, and you're like, oh my god, thank you. It's just so refreshing, and so I wanted to give people the opportunity to, if they had any questions, or wait, one more thing I was going to ask you about. Wait, it'll come to me. Here they come. Here come the memories, guys. Here they come. Here come the memories from the conversation we had earlier. No, it was about just chapters in your life, which we had talked a little bit about. So 10 years from now, what do you think Lou is going to be doing? Let's go, fuck it. Let's go ideal world. Because I would be a cruise director. Like, I would be, right? I know. Like, join me on the Lido deck for champagne. Wouldn't that be so good? That's what... But
I don't know, my friend Don here has a vision that I'm going to go into female bodybuilding. We're going to travel around in a camper van like Little Miss Sunshine. He's going to stitch the Diamante and Swarovski crystals on my bikini. It's going to be he's going to film a whole documentary. I
am here for that.
Right?
I am. We just started.
I'm going to sleep with the judges and go Tonya Harding on the other contestants.
Yeah.
Like noble
What's
people.
that thing called where you raise money on the internet for? We just started a Kickstarter right now.
Yeah.
I started it right now. I started it on my watch. It's not even an iWatch, but I
For
started
my
it.
bodybuild, the senior
Yeah.
bodybuilding tour.
Yeah.
Child beauty pageant. This would be for the female
Yes.
beauty, female
Yes.
bodybuilding.
Yeah, the senior bodybuilding.
It's
Do you know the best
advanced-
thing about the next 10 years?
advanced
I
stuff.
have no fucking clue. And I'm kind of okay with that. I am a control freak in lots of ways.
Uh-huh.
But when we left England, when we left England to come here, friends at home were like, see you in 2 years, you'll be back in 2 years. And I'm like, whatever you tell yourself, whatever you need to, but we're not coming back. We're going forever. Like, we're going forever. I don't know what they're on about. Why would I'm not coming back. We're moving to America. And then when I got here and I met other British people, and they're like, well, we're not here forever. And I'm like, oh. And I think telling myself we were coming forever was to make it bearable and to make it, like, it was so painful to leave everyone and leave family and a sick mother and wrench everybody and take a risk on an adventure together. I had to tell myself it was going to be forever. And then I got here and I went, oh, it might not be forever. And even like sitting here tonight, I have no idea. We may move to New York. We may stay here. Life's up in the air right now. And it's really stressful. And it's exciting. And I don't know. I think, the good comes out of bad, and whatever happens will happen. You got to trust the universe that I'll end up in the right place, meeting the right people. Thank you very much. I never in my life thought I'd be sitting on a rooftop listening with people listening to me ramble on about my vagina.
That is why we all came. The community knows about it. You are a legend, and that's what we all came for.
Or getting dick pics.
Or that. But again,
You never know what's going to happen.
whether you can put it into words or not, I think that all of us always take something different, from somebody you ride in an elevator with, to your Uber driver, to being an event where you get to just sit at a table with people that are obviously here because they like to say the F word and they like positive people. But there's again, it's nice to know that there are people out there that don't know what's going to happen, but know that they'll land on their feet. Because that's what I want to be.
I don't even know if I will land on my feet.
Well, I guess if you fall, you're going to get back up and you look good doing it. So that's what we do
There
know,
you
right?
go.
We can rely on those things. But I kind of want to ask you a little bit about religion, but I feel like people want to ask questions. But I kind of want to know more about, because I want to have a more spiritual path, but I had a really bad experience with church camps, and it got like shoved down my throat. But we're
And I love church camps.
well, I mean, our church camps were like, they were just like a lot of really judgy moms, and so I even tried to find a new name for God. I like Googled different words for God, and I thought this is gonna be it. I'll just call him something different, and it's a him, right? It's a him. It's a white dude in the sky with a beard.
Standard.
Yeah, and so I would love to, I don't know if we're running out of time, and I don't want to give people the chance to ask questions, but if they don't, then I'm gonna go right for let's talk about vaginas and religion. Everyone will definitely buy a ticket to the next one if we cover
It's a
that.
cocktail.
Yeah, this feels really good. This is great. Call me a marketing expert, guys. Yeah, but anybody have any questions? Does anyone have any questions for Lou? That was yes.
How do you feel about religion?
Great question. I see that because there's so many people I need to be like, follow her on Instagram, follow her. Everyone, well, I'll rattle them all off so you guys have good, inspiring people. Also, wait, I just said, do you know you could mute stories? I just learned how to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry. I'm sorry. I just
Put a
it's
soundtrack on it and make it look cute.
Yeah, but it was no. I didn't know that you could mute and not see everybody's story that you follow on the interwebs. And I gotta say, healthy boundaries. That has been fucking amazing. I'm just like mute
turn
that.
'em off.
Yeah, you turn them off. Did you? I did. I don't know. I'm again around. I'm a big. I gotta protect my energy and make sure that I'm surrounded by the right people. And I just learned how to do that. So if you didn't know how to do that, if you were born in 1912 like me and didn't know how to do that, there you go. There's a tip. But okay, first question, Lou. How do you feel about religion?
I would say don't
Tee
mute.
it up, Margo.
Don't mute people.
Don't mute.
Don't mute people.
But what about the ones that you know are really fake and they're pretending like their life is
Oh, yeah,
really
me-
great?
Unfollow.
Yeah, but I know. But what if you're like I'm just kidding. I'm not related to them. I only have two sisters, so they're no. But yeah, I don't know. No, I just learned how to do that anyways. I digress. We're on a bird walk. Let's talk about religion. Let's talk about spirituality because you said you were bound together by this common purpose. So what does that look like other than a white dude in the sky with a beard with lightning bolts? Because that's what I picture.
It can
And
be
stuffy
Hike Squad.
moms.
It could be Hike Squad. We're bound together by wetting our pants because we've all had children, or we're climbing a mountain together, or it could be CrossFit and I look at the workout and think I'm never going to get through that, and then it's a fucking miracle 25 minutes later I have. It can be
Where does your faith? So you talked a lot about your faith, though, and obviously it instilled a lot in you. And I'm curious because we want to give our kids a moral compass. I didn't have one till about 25, and so we like the idea of it. But I and my husband is super Catholic, and we pray, and before we eat, we teach him. He's a super Catholic. It's not a normal Catholic. He's a super Catholic. No, he's a good. He's great. He's my husband. We're still married.
He's great.
Everything's
He's great.
Nobody look at the guy in the corner in the red shorts that's a super Catholic right now. No, but we talk a lot about it because, yeah, button up the top button. A super Catholic would not let it breathe like that, bro. But we just had two totally different paths around spirituality, but we're trying to come together now and learn about it. I know there's obviously something bigger out there, and I really believe in the like whatever. There's a million words that we all call it, right? The universe, energy, all that stuff. But I just can't get past this guy. Just that guy. God is this guy, and then his little squad is like all the really stuffy West Lynn moms.
I don't
They
know
were-
if it's
so-
a guy. I don't know if it's a guy in my head. It's just
Yeah. Sorry. There's really great people that live in West Lynn, but that's where my church camp was. I haven't been there since church camp. I never went back. No, just kidding. But faith. But like, how do you? So it's still a part of you.
I think I have faith in life and faith in people and faith in fun more than a man.
Okay.
I don't know. It's a way to live. It's a way
Okay.
to live your life. It's a rule book, even though I'm not a condoner of a rule book generally. But it's just a little guide, a little cheat sheet for life, maybe. I don't know. Just the way I want to be treated, the way I would expect to be treated. I don't have many demands, I don't think. Loyalty, things like that in my friendships. But I don't know. I think it's more just believing that everything happens for a reason. Every single thing. There is a reason. Even in your despair and your sadness and your, the
Yeah.
lowest of the low. It will turn itself around. It will be okay. It will be okay. It will be okay. Somehow you will get out of that dark pit and things will get better. And it's happened for something further down the line, making you stronger, making you braver, making you question shit, making you change your behavior. I don't know, something.
What would you say to people that are stuck in the dark pit or in a, I don't know, semi-lit pit? I guess. I don't know. People are always stuck. I talk to a lot of people, they just feel stuck, right? A lot of people, your energy is stuck. Things are blocked. They feel like they're stuck in a relationship. They're stuck in a career. They're stuck in a look. I dyed my hair blonde and people were like, oh my God. And I was like, wild, right? I know. It's semi-permanent. You can shave it off and it'll grow back. But it's fascinating to me that people feel. So what would you say to people that feel stuck?
Put on a furry coat and some really big sunglasses and literally just walk around the supermarket. People stroke me. Strangers speak to me. You're never lonely. If you're wearing a good outfit, you're never lonely. Go to the
That's
party.
a quote. Can we write that down? Can we write somebody?
And go to the party you think that's going to be shit and it will be the best night.
Oh my God. Okay. I
Do all the things you don't want to do. And if you're in a dark pit, sometimes the last thing you want to do is just go out of the front door. Get out the front door. Just walk out the front door. Walk out the front door. Go to the gym. Talk to someone you don't like. I don't know.
You
Have a
just
wank. That helps.
That feels like a
That
good
always
ending.
helps.
That feels like a good ending spot. Does anybody have any other questions that they
Probably not.
on that note? Anyone? No instructions? Yeah, she's gonna write a how-to guide. That's what you need to do. That's
I'm
your,
moving into that. That's my YouTube channel.
yeah, yeah. How to live out loud. Do you guys have any other questions or comments in general? We would like this to be a part of the conversation, so not all at once. If everyone could calm down, that would be great. Yeah. Does the baby have any questions? That baby is cute. Well, you guys, thank you all so much for coming. So we want to give you guys time still to hang out for a little bit because everybody here is obviously chosen to be here. It's a nice little filter for good humans. And so we'd love for you guys to connect. They're good people. And I know almost every single one of you. And there's a couple strangers, but now we're friends. And I'm really glad about that. And so we'd love for you guys. I got to say to you, again, if you don't have social media, you should just get it and follow one person, and it's her.
Apologies for my arse.
You just
Which
don't.
since the dick pic, you see a lot more often than you used to.
So anyway,
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so inspired every time I open my phone. Which again, I hate that that's the way it is, but I wish I saw you all the time. But it is so inspiring. I just say I could just try a little bit harder, or I could just do something a little more bolder or louder, and it's like a gateway drug.
Do you know how
I
many
think your outfits are like gateway drugs.
I
Like
get
this
so
hat.
many. I get
It's
so
a
many
gateway
pictures of
drug.
people in changing rooms going, "Should I get this? What do you think?" My favorite, this dude from the gym, not the same dick pic, different dick, sends me a picture of him in overalls. Should I do this? And I'm like, yes, baby. I love that. I love that.
We just need you like
I don't
wherever we are.
understand.
doing
Don't
whatever,
ask
it's
for
just like,
permission
yes,
from anyone.
Say
Just
yes.
do it.
I have a good question.
Yeah.
She has-
Baby, it's good. Hi, I'm Stacy. I want to know because you are living out loud and you are doing all these things, and I live in Westland. What? Anyway, I'm not Steffi at all. Anyway, everybody is always like, Stacy, you're so different. Like you're not like everyone else. And I'm like, oh, I've never met someone like you. And you know, we've traveled all around for my husband's job. We just are drifters and just kind of like. I don't know. I kind of have friends. This is my sister-in-law, and she's always like, "How are you friends with people who are so different than you, just politically, all of the things?" And I think people get scared sometimes when they hang out with me. They're like, "Oh, she's different," or you know, she thinks very like a certain way. Or how do you just keep being yourself? Because there are sometimes where I sit in bed and I'm like, fuck, why did I say that in front of somebody? Or why did I do that? Like that was a little too much for these people. Like
That's me every time I leave Trader Joe's.
Every time I leave anywhere. Like I went to a concert on Friday and they're like, "You're so extra." And I was like,
Always be extra.
"Oh, okay."
Always be. Imagine.
And I was being like calm. That's the thing. I was like being my normal self. Whatever. So you clearly live out loud and all of the things, but then how are you just like, you know what? Just keep going, right? But like when everyone around you is saying that, you're like, am I too much? You kind of
So just to reiterate the question to everyone, Stacey's question was, she has got a lot of people, and they're always like, "You're so different. You're so," and they look at you like you're a specimen, right?
like-
Yeah, all the time. They're like, "Wow, where did you come from?"
I think I moved. I don't know how, but I think I got to a point when I just started going, "Yeah, I fucking am."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Rather than, "Oh yeah, sorry," or I don't know. I don't know if it's an age thing or the dick pic. Something's changing in me. Yeah.
I think it's who you surround yourself
Yeah.
with. I'll say that because Lou obviously is Lou because she has this like you know Lou, but then you also know Hike Squad when you know her. So you know that she has this foundational group of women, and has somebody too that's like I'm too much all the time, too much for a lot of people, and if I didn't have someone to fall back on, then I knew that they were okay with how much I was, and who are okay. Like I'm a really needy friend. Like I forgot my best friend's kid's birthday. It's like you just don't fucking do that, and I did it. And she's like, you gotta get your shit together. And we like had it. She like came at me, deservingly so. And it was a really great reality check. And then I had to call her every day for like 10 days after that. I'd be like, are we cool? Are we cool? And she's like, I said we were cool. And I was like, can you just say it again? And but no matter what. So I think you have your squad. You have your people that are like.
Like we went to that concert and I come home, my husband's that person, and I'm like, was I too much tonight? He's like, nah, fuck him.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's all good.
Only
Well,
a
you
little
slowly start to get your
Who
little
cares?
your
Fuck it.
security, your insulation blanket. I really think it's all who you surround. I mean, I am a product of my surroundings, and so I like to surround myself. Again, that's why I learned how to mute stories, you guys, so then I can only have a feed of like amazing humans instead of a bunch of people that are like draining my soul.
What's the worst that's gonna? What's the worst that can happen? I'm not horrible to anyone. I'm annoying and I'm in your face and I'm loud and I'm obnoxious.
Yeah.
Unfollow me. Don't bother. Like, oh. And then other people love that in you. You're so rude and obnoxious.
We have a question.
Oh yeah, it's a two-part question. Got it. Oh,
Lou in Lou land. It's my own land.
LUINLAND. Yeah, got to get that. Great question.
Bit of everything. CrossFit mainly. My CrossFit career here. I hike a lot. I burn. What else do we do? Oh, we do stairs. So the hike squad, we did the Grand Canyon earlier in May, and we got into doing stairs, just climbing the stairs. And it's really good. And it doesn't cost anything, and it's completely free, and it's out in the sunshine, and there's stairs everywhere. And my ass looks so good. In fact, all our asses look so good. Stairs. Climb the stairs.
I'm gonna eat dinner with my kids. I'm gonna get outside. I'm gonna do the stair. I'm making a mental list of all the things I'm gonna do. Yeah. Does anyone else have any other questions? Okay, here's your challenges, you guys, because you can't come here and then not do something different when you leave. Okay, you have to. So challenge would be to gather. To leave here, and whether it's one person or just two people, and even if it's coffee or even if it's a magazine club. One of my friends started a magazine club because she doesn't have the capacity to have a book club. So she's like, can we just get together and read magazines? And I was like, oh my God, yes. Oh my God, get all the trash ones. I'll bring the real simples. Let's fucking do this, right? We're wild. Bring the Good Housekeeping. So even if it's something super tiny, it doesn't even have to be creative. It's just like, just gather, just bring some people together, but you guys have to be the ones to initiate it, okay? You got to try it. You got to put yourself out there. And then I would say a challenge would be to wear something that you wouldn't expect.
Don't save anything for best. Don't leave that dress in the back of the cupboard so it rots and you get hit by a bus and you never wore it and it goes to the charity shop or the Goodwill with a tag on it. Wear that fucking thing to Trader Joe's or Walgreens. Just wear it and see who talks to you and then let me know. And if
then-
you have a wank, don't let me know.
Don't let her know. Yeah.
I've had enough of that. But do it. Just don't tell me.
Just don't tell her. And then your last challenge, you guys, is tonight, right now, you have to find someone that you don't know. And we've done this at all of them. You have to find someone that you don't know. So a lot of you guys came here with friends. You have to find someone you don't know, and you have to tell them one thing that you're going to say fuck it to this week. So fuck it, I'm not going to be gluten-free anymore. It's really exhausting.
Thank God.
It's really...
Thank God.
I just tried it for a week, and I was like, this is more stressful than 2016 elections. Like, this is so fucking stressful. I don't know. I cannot do that. I'm
Eat a
done.
sandwich,
Or
woman.
you're gonna say, fuck it, I'm gonna mute people's stories. I don't know. Or fuck it, I'm just something. I'm gonna ask for the raise. I'm gonna break up with my crap boyfriend. I don't know, you guys. But you have to find somebody that you don't know, because then you'll actually say what you really want to say fuck it to. Because if you say it to your friend, then you're gonna filter it and you're gonna level yourself down to write what you'll actually do. But if you say it out loud, you hold yourself accountable to doing it. And it's better when it's a stranger, because then you'll actually be real with them, because there's less at stake because they don't know you and it doesn't matter. So and also all these people here are really amazing. And so then you guys should everybody should take a picture in their flare too and tag Lou, so that she can just load up her story with all the goodness of people living out loud. And we're gonna. Well, Donovan, thank you so much for letting us do this amazing
Thank you, Donovan.
3-part series here, and we're gonna do more of these, you guys. So we're excited, and thank you again so much for coming. But you guys, you don't get to leave until you say, "Mom, Dad, everybody has to say fuck it to something this week." Okay, so. Cheers to that. Yeah. Thank you so much. You're so amazing. You're always such an inspiration.
Thank you.
All right. Everyone go have a wonderful Thursday. Finish your beverages and your food and all that jazz. You have to find a stranger. We're going to be standing at the door. And make sure that we do have to ask you to return the flare. All 37 pieces. All 37 pieces of flare.